Hi there, and welcome to our lunchtime meditations here. Glad you could join us today. And happy 4th of July. I know that's coming up. I don't know if anyone is going anywhere for the holidays. We're sitting tight here in Memphis. If you're like us and you're not traveling far, you can at least join me today on a mountain for our mountain meditation. So we'll be following this practice, which I've gotten from the mindfulness-based stress reduction course that I teach. And it's a nice way to increase a sense of resiliency and groundedness in uncertain times. So I can't think of a better time in my life to practice this than now. So we'll be using some imagery in our meditation today. And so I'd like to invite you all to go ahead and take your meditation seats. And I will say sometimes people enjoy doing this meditation from a standing position to give them a sense of being a tall and strong mountain. For others, they like to do this in a seated position, which also allows us to connect to a sense of solidity and connectedness to the ground or the chair beneath us. So you can choose what posture you would like to adopt for this meditation. And then gently close the eyes or just softly gaze at a point in front of you. Beginning to bring attention into the body. Just being aware of what's here in the body, sensations, thoughts and feelings. Just noticing what's here today. Noticing sound around you. Temperature of the room. And as you settle into this moment, giving yourself permission to attend fully to the present moment, to your experiences throughout this meditation. And now focusing attention on the breath, directing it to the breath, following it in and out. Following the entire cycle of the breath and allowing the breath to be slower and deeper for these first few breaths. Feeling the entire body breathing, feeling and noticing the expansion of the chest, the belly, even the side. And anytime attention wanders away, simply noting that and bringing it back to the breath. Allowing yourself to rest deeply in this moment and in the rhythm of the breath. And as you're ready, just allowing the breath to breathe on its own, not needing to control or direct it in any way. And as you continue to follow the breath, also bringing to mind the image of a mountain. It might be an actual mountain that you've seen in pictures, that you visited, or one that you create out of your imagination. Allowing yourself to really notice the mountain in its full dimensions, its width and height, its breadth and noticing the setting, noticing the type of mountain you might have, long and wide or tall and steep, whether there might be snow on the peaks, noticing the wildlife, the plants, the vegetation that cover the surface of the mountain. Getting a sense of how it feels, your response to noticing, being in the presence of this mountain. And now allowing yourself to become this mountain. So merging with this image you have of the mountain and allowing yourself to feel from the inside out what it's like as a mountain. So whether you're standing or sitting, feeling yourself grounded deeply into the earth beneath you. Might be the seat, might be the floor, if you're indoors. And feeling yourself rising up from this place of groundedness and feeling the spine stretch toward the sky. Noticing your body is the bulk of the mountain, and then your head is the peak. And really connecting with this sense of being a part of the earth itself. So not simply rising up from it, but actually being the earth. Being the earth that is in this form, rising up higher than anything else around it. And from your vantage point at the peak, looking around in all directions, noticing the view. Observing yourself as the mountain, seeing what it's like on the surface of the mountain, noticing how far out you can see. Having a large, spacious, expansive view of the surrounding land and even the sky surrounding you and above you. Feeling that vast space in addition to the vast space inside of you. And as you rest here as the mountain, just noticing all of the changing forces around you. So allowing yourself to notice the seasons as they may change, wherever your mountain might be. Perhaps noticing how the vegetation changes through the seasons, from the spring and summer where things are in full bloom to the fall as leaves may turn color and fall, in the winter as some of the trees might become barren or covered in snow, noticing the new life of the animals in the spring. Noticing the weather patterns as they change. You might notice heavy rains, periods of dryness, heat, the sun scorching down on you, periods of heavy snow. And just throughout all of this, noticing how you remain as the mountain in your form, even as the weather and the seasons change around you, even as your outer form changes. Noticing how you remain part of the earth. Affected by the seasons, the changing weather patterns, and yet at your core, still persisting, still here, still rising up into the highest limits of the sky, higher than anything else around you. And just feeling from the inside out what that's like. Feeling sensations in the body, emotions that might come and go. And holding all of these experiences and yet not identifying with them. Not identifying with the storms of the rain, drought, snowstorms, but observing and experiencing them. And noticing how this is like our life and the ever-changing landscape of our experience, our changing emotions, our changing thoughts, changing beliefs about ourselves and the world, changing even physical appearance from day to day, over the years, noticing how change is continuous and a part of life, and yet you are not the change, you're not the thought, you're not the emotion, you're not the despair, the rage. It's all a part of the landscape of your experience. And you still persist and are here to experience it all. And no matter how wild the weather, there's also that vast, deep area within the mountain that still remains, and that in fact is simply the earth around it. And touching in and feeling that sense of groundedness, of connection to something bigger than yourself, connecting to life itself, to an ever-abiding hope and faith that you are not alone, that you're part of this vast universe of life. And that everything we're experiencing is part of the ever-changing nature and landscape of our mind and our experience. So resting in and connecting with that peace, that sense of groundedness. Resting there, feeling the breath once again, feeling the entire mountain of your body, your existence. Envisioning the breath, feeling the body from the peak all the way down to the base. And resting in that, no matter what your emotional weather pattern is today, in this moment. Just coming back to the breath and resting here. taking refuge here in this moment, in this breath. And now as we come to the end of this meditation, listening for the sound of the bell. Thank you for joining us and holding space with us here today. And want to say hi to Lindley. I see you there. Always good to be with you. And I will see you all next week for our lunchtime meditations, noon Central on Fridays. Thanks. Bye-bye.